January 13th, 1997. The White House. Vernon Baker is 77 years old. He has waited 52 years for this moment. When President Clinton places the Medal of Honor around his neck, Baker says, "Thank you, fellas. Well done. And I will always remember you." He's speaking to 6 men who aren't there. 6 men who died before their country acknowledged what they'd done. Of the 464 Medals of Honor awarded during World War II, not one went to a black soldier. Over 1 million served. Not one was deemed worthy of the nation's highest honor. In 1993, the Army commissioned Shaw University to investigate. Researchers reviewed every Distinguished Service Cross awarded to black soldiers and identified 10 men whose actions clearly met the Medal of Honor standard. Congress waived the time limits. 7 were approved. And on January 13, 1997, America finally acknowledged what these soldiers had done. March 8, 1943. Porlock Harbor, New Guinea. Age 28. George Watson never fired a shot at the enemy. He was a bath and laundry specialist, one of the menial jobs assigned to black soldiers who weren't trusted with weapons. On March 8, 1943, Japanese bombers attacked the USAT Jacob off the coast of New Guinea. 3 bombs hit. The ship caught fire. The captain ordered all hands to abandon ship. Watson was a strong swimmer. He jumped without a life jacket. Instead of swimming to safety, Watson swam back toward the wreckage. Men who couldn't swim were drowning. Again and again, Watson pulled them to life rafts. His friend Sergeant James Guilford couldn't swim. Watson found him and dragged him to safety. Watson kept swimming until his strength gave out. As the Jacob sank, the suction pulled him under. His body was never recovered. Watson became the first African American to receive the Distinguished Service Cross in World War II. His general said he died in the shining splendor of high courage. When his Medal of Honor was presented in 1997, no family could be found. The Sergeant Major of the Army accepted it on his behalf. November 16th to 19th, 1944. Near Goubling, France. Age 26. The 761st Tank Battalion's motto was, "Come out fighting." Reuben Rivers lived that motto until the moment he died. Rivers was born in Oklahoma to a family of black and Cherokee heritage. When the Army finally deployed the 761 to Europe in October 1944, Rivers was a staff sergeant, commanding a tank platoon. 8 days into combat, Rivers earned the battalion's first Silver Star. His company hit a German roadblock, a felled tree surrounded by mines. Standard procedure was to wait for engineers. Rivers dismounted under fire, attached a cable, and dragged it clear with his Sherman. Then came November 16th. Rivers's tank hit a mine. The explosion nearly severed his leg. His shin bone was exposed through the wound. His commander ordered him evacuated. Rivers refused. "Captain, this is one order I'll never obey." He took command of another tank. For 3 more days, with a wound that should have killed him, he led his platoon forward. On November 19th, Company A ran into heavy German fire and was ordered to withdraw. Rivers positioned his tank to cover the retreat. 2 anti-tank rounds hit him simultaneously. He was killed instantly. His captain recommended him for the Medal of Honor the next day. The paperwork disappeared for 52 years. December 14th, 1944. Klimbach, France. Age 24. Charles Thomas knew exactly what he was volunteering for. Thomas grew up in Detroit and was studying engineering at Wayne State when he was drafted. By December 1944, he was a lieutenant in the 614th Tank Destroyer Battalion, 5 miles from the German border. Their next objective, the village of Klimbach. The approach was a death trap, a narrow valley overlooked by German positions. Thomas volunteered to lead the assault in an M20 scout car, with armor thin enough for a rifle bullet to penetrate. At 1:30 p.m., Thomas's scout car crested the hill. German fire erupted from everywhere. The first shell hit his vehicle. Shrapnel tore into his chest, arms, and legs. He helped his crew bail out, then was hit again by machine gun fire. Any other man would have been finished. Thomas was just getting started. Bleeding from wounds across his entire body, he refused evacuation. He directed his men to deploy their guns. He identified targets. He coordinated fire until the enemy was silenced. When asked about it later, Thomas said, "I know I was sent out to locate and draw the enemy fire, but I didn't mean to draw that much." His unit became the first black combat unit to receive a Distinguished Unit Citation. Thomas died of cancer in 1980, never knowing his DSC would be upgraded to the Medal of Honor. December 26th, 1944. Somocolonia, Italy. Age 29. John Fox's last words were a command. "Fire it! There's more of them than there are of us. Give them hell!" He was ordering an artillery strike on his own position. Fox was a forward observer with the 92nd Infantry Division in northern Italy. On December 23rd, he volunteered for a 4-day mission in the village of Somocolonia. On Christmas night, German soldiers infiltrated the town disguised as civilians. By dawn on December 26th, the village was surrounded. Most American units withdrew. Fox refused. He climbed to the second floor of a house and began calling in artillery. As Germans poured into the streets, Fox directed fire closer and closer to himself. "Bring it in 60 yards, he radioed. His battery commander protested. The shells would be too close. Fox called for another adjustment. German soldiers surrounded the building. He knew he was about to be overrun. His last transmission, "Fire it! There's more of them than there are of us. Give them hell!" The shells fell directly on Fox's position. When American forces retook the village on January 1st, they found Fox's body surrounded by approximately 100 dead German soldiers. His sacrifice had saved the American retreat and countless Italian civilians. Today there's a memorial to John Fox in Somocolonia. The Italians have never forgotten. April 7th, 1945. Lippelsberg, Germany. Age 25. Willie James never wanted to be a hero. He wanted to fight. Like most black soldiers, James was assigned to support duties. That changed during the Battle of the Bulge, when the Army finally opened combat assignments to black volunteers. James gave up his rank to become an infantry scout with the 104th Timberwolf Division. Near Paderborn, James led a squad that captured or killed 40 SS troops. A correspondent wrote, "An all-Negro platoon licked Adolf Hitler's Superman." On April 7th, James's unit reached the Weser River. He was lead scout, first man into enemy fire. German machine guns pinned him down for over an hour. Most men would have stayed down. James used that hour to study every enemy position. When he crawled back to his platoon, he helped develop an entirely new assault plan based on what he'd observed. Then he led the attack. When his platoon leader was shot down by snipers, James ran into the open to help him. German machine guns cut him down before he reached the officer's side. His widow, Valsini, accepted his Distinguished Service Cross in 1945 and his Medal of Honor in 1997. March 23, 1945. Near Speyer, Germany. Age 28. Edward Carter was already a combat veteran before joining the American Army. At 15, he'd fought the Japanese and the Chinese Nationalist Army. At 18, he fought fascists in Spain with the Abraham Lincoln Brigade. When World War II began, Carter enlisted, but was assigned to a service unit because he was black. Like James, he volunteered to give up his stripes for combat duty after the Battle of the Bulge. On March 23, 1945, Carter was riding on a tank near Speyer when it was hit. He took cover with 3 other soldiers, then volunteered to lead a patrol across 150 yards of open ground under fire. 1 man was killed, then another. Then the 3rd was wounded. Carter kept going. He was shot 5 times, in his left arm, both hands, and twice in his leg. 8 German soldiers moved in to capture him. Carter killed 6 with his rifle. The remaining 2 surrendered. Using the prisoners as shields, Carter crawled back across the field to American lines. He then forced the prisoners to reveal German positions. After the war, Carter tried to stay in the Army, but was denied re-enlistment. His service in Spain made him a suspected communist. He died of lung cancer in 1963 at age 46, caused by shrapnel still lodged in his neck from Speyer. His son accepted the Medal of Honor in 1997. April 5th to 6th, 1945. Castel Agenolfi, Italy. Age 25. Vernon Baker survived everything the war threw at him. Then he survived 52 more years of waiting. Baker tried to enlist in April 1941, but was turned away. "We don't have any quotas for you people," the recruiter said. He tried again with a different recruiter and was accepted. By April 1945, Baker was a first lieutenant with the 92nd Infantry Division, the only black infantry division in combat in Europe. On April 5th, he led his platoon toward Castel Agenolfi, a German stronghold on a mountain above the Italian coast. Baker and 25 men reached the German positions ahead of the rest of the company. Over the next several hours, Baker personally destroyed 2 machine gun positions, a 3rd nest, and a dugout. He killed 9 German soldiers. When his company commander fled the battlefield, Baker took command. 19 of his 25 men were killed. Baker organized the withdrawal, using grenades to clear the escape route. The next morning, he volunteered to lead another assault through a minefield under heavy fire. He guided his men through and captured Castle Agenofi. Baker stayed in the Army for 27 years, commanding an all-white airborne company during Korea. He was 77 when he finally received the Medal of Honor. "I was an angry young man," Baker said at the ceremony. "We were all angry. But we had a job to do, and we did it." He paused. "The only thing I can say to those that are not here with me is, thank you, fellas. Well done. And I will always remember you." Baker died on July 13, 2010. He is buried at Arlington National Cemetery. 7 men, 7 acts of extraordinary courage. 52 years of waiting. The Shaw University study concluded simply, these men met the standard for the Medal of Honor. The only reason they didn't receive it was the color of their skin. Vernon Baker stood alone in the White House that day, the only survivor of a generation that fought 2 wars, one against fascism abroad, one against racism at home. Thank you, fellas. Well done. We will always remember you.